Well, hello everybody. It's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is 7 o'clock. I'm going to do a little bitty zoom right there. You guys getting me? Yep, looks like I just went live, so that's a good thing. Oh, we got a lot of folks on. Hello everybody from chilly Florida. I know it is cold up here too, and you know what? We've just now started winter, and I am done with it. I'm already over it. Hello everybody. I'm so glad you're all here. Oh, for all of you who are under winter storm warnings and the whatnot, you stay safe. I know it's that time of year. So just help me, guys. Am I live? Should I double check? And am I blurry? Oh, I see my hand. Okay, so that's a good sign. All right, here is the card that I gave you the sneak peek of this morning. It is a celebration card, and I have left the inside blank so that I can add whatever. I think it would be great as an anniversary card, as a birthday card, a graduation card. So lots of things that you can do with it. And it is, of course, one of my very, very favorite fun folds. This is the book fold. Some people call it a side fold. I think it looks like a book myself. And it's super cool because it's so easy. You really get it by making one extra score and fold. And that's this one right here. Okay, so it also showcases the new Adoring Hearts bundle. Now this is actually a hybrid embossing folder bundle. Did that even make sense? Hey Suzette, hey Rosie, appreciate you guys coming. And hope you're having a good time. Okay, Rocky, I'm not blurry. Thank you so much. So it's just my screen that's showing me as blurry. That's awesome, but better than your screen. Perfect. All right. So there is an embossing folder that goes with it. I did not use it on this one, but let me show it to you. Hang on just a second. I'll grab it because that's the kind of helper I am. This is the embossing folder, and what you can do is ink up this side of the folder, and you can place this die right inside, like so. Place your cardstock in and close it up. Send it through in the embossing folder sandwich, and it will emboss all those little hearts, and if you've inked it, it will also color those little hearts and cut them all out all in one go. Or you can do that and leave the dies out and emboss and get all of these embossed hearts on your cardstock. So very cool. It all comes as part of the bundle, but as I said, I did not use this die or the embossing folder on this card. Okie dokie, okie dokie dokie. All right. Ooh, no power or heat. Oh, Jenny, I'm so sorry. My goodness. Stay warm. You're making me cold just thinking about it. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. All of this will be on my blog tomorrow, so you do not even need to take notes or anything. I am going to start with a piece of my stylus always jumps out of my scoreboard there. I'm going to start with a piece of real red cardstock. It is 4 1/4 inches wide by 11 inches long, and we're going to do two scores. First is 5 1/2, and the second one is 6 3/4. Oop! Try to stay in your score line there. If I got something in there, no. Okay, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Oh my gosh, that one right there. That was a bad piece of cardstock. Did you see it being all bad like that? We're going to try on it with a different one. That one will be good for some other thing. All right, here we go. Let's try that again. 5 1/2, 6 3/4. Stay in the groove. There we go. Okay. It really is easy, you guys. Hey, Sharon. Hi, Debbie. Appreciate you guys coming. All right, and then you're going to fold at the 5 1/2 line, just regular. So right now it would just look like a regular top fold card, right? Just like regular. But then you're going to take the second fold, the 6 3/4 line, and you're going to fold the other direction. So if you're thinking topographically, consider this a mountain fold. The 4 1/2 is a mountain fold, and then the 6 3/4 is a valley fold. All right. Then all you got to do, I know, Judy, it's crazy. All you got to do is use some liquid glue, or you can use You can use tear and tape if you like, but I like liquid glue. You know me, I'm a liquid glue girl. And whatever adhesive you use, you're just going to put it on this 1 1/4 inch portion right there in the center. Okay? And then put the two pieces together. And once that glue has a minute to think about what its job is, which is to hold the pieces together, boom. And that's it. You have just made a fun fold, and it is exactly that easy. Alrighty? So now we are going to decorate, and I am using some of the Most Adored DSP, which is free with a $50 purchase during Sale-A-Bration. And I am going to use several different designs of it. Well, okay, 2. Actually 3, because I'm also doing a little fussy cutting. Hope you don't mind. So the first thing I'm going to do is adhere a piece of this Flirty Flamingo. Not that one. Why did I cut out that piece? See, I can feel it. This is coming up. I'm going to screw something up again. I can feel it coming already. So let's go ahead. Now you get to observe me cutting. Ooh, won't that be fun? That one probably would actually hide. Let me see if I can hide it. Yep, I think I maybe can. Oh, I think it's going to be close enough. Don't you think? Let's see. I'm gonna just do a little fit check here, guys. I've got these pieces. This is another piece of the DSP, and I've used the second from the largest Stylish Shapes square to cut that out. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut another piece. That's great. You see what I got there? This was my first experiment. I thought, I'll put it on a piece of the DSP, but I didn't like it, so I didn't do it. Okay, so let me get my trimmer out here. And thanks, guys. I sure do appreciate y'all being so sweet. All right, so these pieces are 4 inches by 4 inches square. And so there was the 4-inch mark and the 4-inch mark to make it square. To make it square. But I don't need to score it. I have no idea why I just did that. None. Okay. So before I put that on my gold foil, I'm going to go ahead and take these pieces of the DSP, these squares, and we're going to adhere it with liquid glue. So when you're doing this, it's not very scientific, but what you're kind of trying to do is keep an equal reveal around all 4 squares. All right? So essentially like that. And I'm going to use liquid glue. Again, I'm a glue girl. I'm a glue girl. I'm a glue girl. Yeah, it has not been, I mean, it wasn't miserable. It was 29 this morning, and I was a little bit disappointed in the weather, people. Because when I checked the weather last night, when I fed, it said it wasn't going to get below 33. So I didn't take the water undone in the barn. Fortunately, it was only below 32 for a short time, I think. And so we did not have a water problem. I had water today when I needed it, which is always nice. The pony likes to get a drink. All right, so we're just adhering these with some liquid glue, very simple. All right, hey Susan from Minnesota. Appreciate you coming. All right. I love this. Now, there are some other real red designs in that DSP pack. There's one that's got little hearts all over it. You could use that one if you prefer. Why did that get... Oh, because I moved it. Don't do that. Gosh. You ever have a day like that? I can feel it coming. Here we go. Must be Monday somewhere. Have you heard that saying? It's 5 o'clock somewhere? It must be Monday somewhere. Okay, so we've got all of those on there now. Whew, that's a relief. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can adhere this to my gold mat, my gold foil mat. So far, so good. Life is good. Okay. All right. So we'll let that set for a second. And then I have a narrow piece. This is going to go on the book fold side, on the binder side, if you will. And I'm going to put this on with a little liquid glue. You do want to be a little careful when you're using liquid glue and foil, any foils, because if you get glue on the foil, it doesn't come off quite as tidily as one might like it to do. Okay, now, here's the little dealio. I thought I had a second pack of my Simply Elegant trim, and I may yet. I just can't find it. So I'm going to punt a little bit, and I'm going to use some of this gold trim that is part of the gold and silver trim and the online exclusives. And I'm going to just play now, okay? So, you know, bear with me. Bear with me. Hey, Robin, that's a great idea. If you're into conserving that gold foil, absolutely do that. That's a good idea. So I'm just going to put a glue dot there and another glue dot here. And I really did the same exact thing on my model and on the one that's on the blog tomorrow. But instead of using this trim, as you can see, I wrapped some of the gold Simply Elegant trim twice around and adhered it with a glue dot. So this is the same concept, just with a different trim. And because this is a little thicker, I'm only going to go once around, like so. I know, the weather people, it's like one of the few jobs on the planet where you can be wrong, oh gosh, I don't know, 80% of the time and still not lose your job. I don't know. What would they do if a pilot was like that? Well, I thought I could land, but I couldn't. Whoopsie. You know, I mean, seriously? Come on, man. Okay, now this is what I'm going to do here. Oh, I should probably snug that up a little bit. I'm going to snug that up a little bit. Like that. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to take my gold trim. I'm still going to use it because it will make a nicer, I think it'll make a nicer bow for me. And I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine. See, it'll be fine. We're all fine. It's all good. It's all fine. All right. Use my last little bit here. Might as well use much of it because I don't have much left. And I'm just going to tie a bow around like so. And I'm going to go ahead and use my little surgeon's knot that I showed y'all last week, or last time. So I'm just going to go through once and then wrap it one more time around. And that way it should stay snug when I get it tightened up. You know, that's one of the downsides of these trims is they don't want to stay snug. So if you'll use that surgeon knot, it'll help you out. Okay. There we go. And we'll get it turned around there and tidied up. My goodness, I got a lot of extra, don't I? I suppose that could be why I'm out of the gold trim. Things that make you say, All right, so there's that, and it'll be ready when we are. And now the next piece is we're going to make our sentiment. So I have taken, if you want a visual look, this die right here is what cut out my little squares on my card front. And then the next largest one is the one that I'm using for my sentiment. Okay, so these two adjacent square dies are the ones that I'm using on this card. Alrighty. So let me stamp first. I love, love, love this heart image. It's like a wreath in a heart shape from Adoring Hearts. And I'm going to stamp it in the middle of this die cut in Flirty Flamingo ink. Ink. That's I-N-K, not ink incorporated. Okay. Never mind. Then in real red, I am going to stamp Celebrating You. And I'm going to put it on a little bit of an angle like that because it's kind of jaunty and kind of fun. Let's do it like right about there. There we go. There we go. All right. Now that is going to go onto our card front with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Don't need that. Oh, I should put it on the actual sentiment, huh? Finny and I spent the day packing things up and getting them mailed. And wow, that's about it. We didn't do a whole lot. No, we did. We did a lot. I'm pretty sure we did a lot. It's just too cold to do much outside. I'm just saying. Did the pony this morning. We groomed her for a little while. Changed her bed, changed her sheets, so she'd be all comfy tonight. She was real worried that I was going to bring her up. Yesterday, I brought her up at 11 o'clock in the morning and kept her up until about 3:30 when I was sure that the weather wasn't going to come. The weather wasn't coming that they had been telling me about for 3 days. It was going to be awful, and it wasn't. Okay, now, we're going to do a little fussy cutting, okay? Can you stand it? Can you stand it? Oh, gosh, Mary. That's terrible. I hate when they up the rates right when it's getting cold, don't they? All right, so you see this large rose right here. I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to leave out this little flower and these little doohickeys, okay? Because that's crazy talk. And it won't look nice anyway. It's just too small, I think. I mean, you can, if you like it, you can do that, but I don't. So I'm taking it out, and I'm doing what I would call a die cut, which means I'm leaving a little bitty edge around it. If I was doing what I term a hard cut, I would be right up against that foil image. Can y'all see what I'm doing there? I think the sun, not the sun. The light is maybe a little glary. So here's where you get to all of those world's easiest fussy cuts where you've been cutting and practicing your fussy cutting technique will pay off. You're holding your scissors with your cutting hand. You have your paper right up against the fulcrum of the snips, and you're doing all the turning with the hand holding the paper. See that? My scissors aren't moving, but the paper is. All right. And I'm just going to let it go right off there. And sometimes when you're doing these small cuts, it'll help if you rest the bottom scissor blade on your fingers underneath, and that kind of helps to steady it as well. Okay, this is still not a very difficult cut. I'm just saying. Okay, especially if you remember the basics about doing your fussy cutting. All right, and we're going to turn this corner. It is possible to turn a corner. You can see as I get around here, get past that corner and then make the turn by turning the paper. Okay, all right, almost done. Stick with me, y'all. If you are asking me a question or saying, Mary, why in the world are you doing that? I am not looking, because a principal tenet of fussy cutting is looking at what you're doing. Just saying. I just snorted there a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me see what I got. Anybody doing anything? Hey, Donna. PG. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you know, I gotcha. I gotcha. Okay. And one more last little bit, and then we can color this. And we'll be getting towards the end. Okay, and there we go. Make that last final cut. All right, and there we have a beautiful foil embossed rose. So I am going to take my light and dark. I may not use both of them, but we're going to pretend like we are. So I've got my light and dark Granny Apple Green blends, and I'm just coloring the leaves. Now, this is kind of slickish paper, so don't be running your fingers over it right off the bat. You kind of want to give it a second to dry. But it's kind of cool because you're really going to get to leave that gold embossing not colored. So that's going to be kind of fun. Okay, one more little leafy. Oops, got outside the lines a little bit right there. That's all right. It'll be fine. Let's see. Do you see any more leaves? I don't see any more leaves. Okay. No more leaves. Now I'm going to take my dark blend and just add a little bit of color. Okay. I'm going to do this one with just an extra little layer of the light blend. Okay. So you can just kind of play with it and see what you like for your leaves. There we go. Okay. And now I am going to, hello Aniki, welcome. SU snips, I can't get us. Oh Heather, I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe you have a faulty one, because I think they're the best ever. All right, so now I'm going to take my Flirty Flamingos, light and dark, and first I'm just going to flood the whole image with the light blend, trying to not let it go outside the lines too badly. Obviously you could do this ahead of fussy cutting it, but I always hate to spend the time coloring if I'm going to bork up a fussy cut, and I do bork up fussy cuts. It happens to all the people. I promise. There's not a crafter on the planet who hasn't borked a fussy cut. So I'm just throwing that out there for your edification. All right. Now, here we go. I'm going to take the dark, and I'm just going to color some of the petals of each of the roses. And I'm going to come back and do just a little blending, and it blends a lot. It blends quite well on this slickery paper. Slickery, that's my term, that's my word. So just kind of look, these are folds of the petals, so I'm going to color them. Here's a dark area, and then I'm putting a little bit of the color where Stampin' Up! Gave us those blending lines, okay? Like that. And because it's on this slick paper, you've got a little extra time. So you can now come back and just do a little blending there, and that's going to blend that, set that all down into a nice cohesive look. Just a little bit of color like that. Maybe add a little bit of the light back again. Okay, and then we'll do the same on the small flower. We'll add here. And then we can come back and do a little more blending with that light. Remember, the light gives you an extra little color bump. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do. So that's really pretty easy. I'm sorry, Tina. Maybe it's me getting too far. Maybe I'm mumbling. I could be mumbling. Mumbling is a thing that I could be doing. Okay, now, before you came, I used the dies in the Adoring Hearts set. There's these two leaves, and I cut 2 vellum cardstock leaves with those, and then I cut 2 leaves out of the gold foil with this die. Okay, and I have those right here, and all I'm going to do is we're going to adhere those with a little bit of liquid glue on the bottom corner, and I'm going to put the vellums on, and then we're going to put these foils over the top, and that is then going to be a very good spot for our little rose. Sylvia, I think it could be, it's hard to say because mine is showing a little bit out, but most folks are saying it's not. So, Rosie, can you re-comment on the settings thing to do, because I'm never sure what it says because I never see it in time. All right, so I'm just putting a little bit of liquid glue right on the bottom end of the stem. Okay. Remember, the cool thing about liquid glue is you don't need a ton of it because it's really, really good and it squishes around. So I'm going to do the same on my foil, and again, being kind of careful. All right, we're going to put that right there. Let me pull this a little bit. There we go. All right, and then we'll do the same with this little guy. This little, I don't know, oh, that came to, you remember that song, This Little Light of Mine? I'm gonna let it shine. It just came in my head right then. Don't even know why. I don't even know why. because it's weird. It was weird for me to think that right then. Okay, so those are stuck on. And now I'm going to take a couple of my half dimensionales and have them prepped because I'm probably going to want them. I'm going to adhere this like so. And so I'm going to stick a dimensional right there and right there. And remember, I'm using my half dimensionals because that's how I do. I'm sticking that right there and sticking another one right here and lift up those little lids. Put a little bit of Were I a Girl Guide. Yeah, actually, I think that's from church, from Sunday school. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, let it shine. But we could have sung it at Girl Scout camp too, because yes, I was a Girl Scout. I certainly was a Girl Scout. All right, and so then we're going to adhere that just like that and give it a little push. And I am going to grab another dimensional. I guess I'll cut this. I was gonna be lazy and get another sheet, but I'm gonna be tough and snip that apart. And then I'm just gonna slide this right under. I think it needs it right. Did it need it? Maybe it didn't need it. Maybe I got it all ready for nothing. Here, I'll stick it under here since I've already got it undone. There we go. Okay, so there's the card front. That's all I'm gonna do. I thought about adding some bling and I decided to let it just be what it is, which is just pretty. Okay, so let's put our card together. It is a Sunday school song. Yeah. So that's where I heard that. That's where I heard that. Right there at the Methodist Church in Garden Grove. Alrighty. So I'm gonna pop this on with dimensionals. And I'm going to do the same on the book fold panel. Let me see what I got. Here we go. And the card front will be done. And the inside is super easy and quick. So the hard part is behind us, guys. I mean, if there is a hard part, the hard part is behind us. And I'm gonna posit for your consideration that none of it was hard. None of it. It was maybe just a little bit time consuming. Now, the only next hard part is let's put this on right side up, shall we? Let's put this on right side up, looking for an equal reveal all the way around. And then we'll put our dimensionals on the back of our small panel. Yeah, there we go. Yep. I went to the Methodist Church in Garden Grove, and then we moved over to the Crystal Cathedral when Robert Schuller built that. We were going to the Crystal Cathedral before there was a Crystal Cathedral. It was the what did he call that? Oh, the Hour of Power. There it was. See, there's things that you just don't forget from when you're a kid. The Hour of Power. And I can remember sitting out in the parking lot for parts of it, and he would open up the atrium doors and he would preach to the people out in the parking lot as well as the people in the church. And then he built the Crystal Cathedral, and that was a big thing. My grandparents were ushers there and docents and all the other things, so they were quite active in the church. Okay, so this guy is going on with dimensionals as well. Like that. And then you can kind of fuss around with your bow a little bit to make it pretty. And there is your card front. Done. Boom. So for the inside, I just have, well, I did have somewhere over the rainbow, I have lost a piece of white. I'll be right back. I'll be hornswoggled. You see, actually, here's the problem I have. The problem I had is I was ready too early. So I had some time on my hands, and that means that I have no idea where that piece of cardstock is, because I distinctly remember cutting it. I cut all the pieces and all of the parts. And here we go. Okay, so for this, like I said, I left the inside sentimentless, but not undecorated. So I thought, in order to make it even more versatile, in case I just wanted to write and not stamp anything in there, what I did is I took the Adoring Hearts heart wreath and I inked it up in the Flirty Flamingo and stamped it off once, and then stamped it right in the middle of my 4" by 4" pan. So that's pretty light. If I just wanted to write over the top of it, I can. Or if I want to stamp a sentiment in, I would use real red if I did it. That will be perfect too. So while I have this out, let me grab my envelope. And I'm going to use full strength for this on the front. Isn't that just the prettiest? Oh, let me see if I can line it up. What do you think? Well, no, not really. That'll be, you know what? I think it's actually going to be okay. It'll look like it's double vision. It's not too bad. Okay. Yeah. Long time ago, one of my very favorite photos that is on my piano right now is my grandma and grandpa, Mimo and Handdaddy. They were never grandma and grandpa. They were Mimo and Handdaddy. And they are walking hand in hand into the Crystal Cathedral. And that is, well, it's a good memory. It's a good memory. All right, so here we go. And we're going to just put this on some gold foil. Some gold foil. And then it's going to go popping inside our card base. Remember, it's also going to be a little extra squiggly on the gold foil, okay? So, or on any of the foils, no matter what color it is. It doesn't care what color it is. All foil is squiggly. And so you got to be careful or you'll end up misaligning it. And then if you miss it, you won't get it put back. And the liquid glue will be like, boom, gotcha. Gotcha. I gotcha. Okay. And so here we go. So I think this would obviously be good with a Valentine's sentiment on the inside, but I kind of think it would be a great birthday card too. I love it as a birthday card. All right, so on our envelope, we're going to put a little more of that red plaid with some liquid glue, and then we're going to be done. Yeah, I hope you guys will come back on Thursday, as Rosie is saying, and see what I have in store. Because you know what? I don't even know what I have in store for Thursday. I wish I was so far ahead that I knew what we were going to do on Thursday, but I don't, so I can't tell you. I wouldn't anyway. This has to be a surprise. Alrighty. Again, this is now even easier because we just cut out that rose, but never lose an opportunity to practice your technique. Perfect practice makes... What is that saying? Perfect practice makes perfect... I don't know. I don't know what it is. It just eluded me. All right, there you go. Now, obviously, if you like more bling, put some rhinestones on or put some whatever bling that you've got, but I kind of like it just like this. And I like with the other trim kind too. So if this is the kind, if you've got some of that gold trim and you're maybe out of all of the rest, be creative. Do what you're going to do. Practice makes perfect, but there's something about perfect practice makes perfect. If you practice, that's it. Perfect practice makes perfect. Because if you practice wrong, you get wrong. You've practiced wrong. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right, guys, I appreciate you spending part of your weekend with me. For all of you who are cold, please stay warm, stay safe. I hope you get power back soon. And we'll see you next week. Thanks so much. Ta!